Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. There was a new Alpha 3.23 Evocati patch released, and this one is chock full of features. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support, it is truly appreciated. Cannot do this without you guys. So as mentioned, this new patch was bursting at the seams with many of the features slated for Alpha 3.23, including what appears to be a whole range of FPS changes, plus Cloud Imperium officially confirmed that creatures are coming for Alpha 3.23 as well. Now, before we get to all of that, I would like to announce that I have partnered with Gameglass, which allows players to transform their tablets and phones essentially into your ship's dashboard, allowing you to immersively control many aspects of your ships and vehicles. And right now, until the 3rd of April, they are offering their lifetime pass again for the first time since their Kickstarter ended 5 years ago. Now, I know many of you use Gameglass for Star Citizen, as you have all told me on many occasions to get it. I now have it, and I'm very excited to get using it, and I do highly suggest checking it out for yourselves. If you haven't done so already, I will link their site below. Now, if you do want to pick up this lifetime pass, using my code being simply SMB will get you 5% off any order you put in, including that lifetime pass. Plus, it will provide me with a kickback directly supporting my channel. So thank you so much in advance if you do use it. And I will be talking more about Gameglass and how I use it in upcoming videos and streams as well. So let's get to the news. Firstly, Cloud Imperium have officially confirmed that there will be fauna coming in Alpha 3.23. They did so over on their Twitter or X, and this is by way of two known creatures, one being the Copian, which is a dog-like creature that I believe lives inside caves and hunts in packs, plus the Marok, which is a type of bird-like pterodactyl creature. Now, I also think the Kazi Grazer space cows will be in 3.23, but I cannot confirm this just yet. So, not only is this super exciting to see fauna finally come to Star Citizen, but some Evocati say that these creatures appear to have hunting missions tied to them as well, so there is going to be a lot of fun to have. But it might be worth putting a crew together to enter those caves from now on. Hopefully, we'll get a lot more information on creatures as we progress through the waves, and I am very excited to check them out when I get access. Now, to the patch notes. The testing focus for this 4-hour test was stability being the main focal point, the full character customizer revamp, EVA Tier 2, the new looting screens, the new visor and lens HUDs, backpack reloading, ammo repooling, dynamic crosshairs, physical shopping UI, and the server crash recovery. Now, features that are also in the build but not necessarily ready for feedback include the master modes changes, mobiGlass rework, the star map, the interior map and mini-map, the player interaction experience and a lot of default item actions, freight elevators, hauling missions, reputation-based hostility, and more. Now, I won't be going through each of these features, as we already know a lot about them, but for certain features that have changes that we're not too in the know of, for EVA Tier 2, it mentions that the fuel system and consumption is in which players will have finite EVA fuel in their suits, meaning we need to think more about when and how we use our jets. Now, this adds support for EVA jet thrusters on undersuits, torso armors, and backpacks, it says, so this should mean that backpacks will have a greater fuel capacity. And also, if your fuel supply does run out, you can then choose to transfer oxygen from your suit supply, so keeping yourself alive, to your thrusters, which could be enough to survive, or you could end up burning through your oxygen and die. So there's a lot of choice to be had there, but when you are in a breathable atmosphere, your oxygen does automatically replenish. Plus, there will be these pens called Nitoxy pens, I think they're called, which can resupply your suit fuel and oxygen. Now, for the physical shopping UI, the player no longer needs to hold down the F key, and instead, looking at an object while close to it will bring up this new AR info window with the item's description, stats, price, and your current funds being available with the option to buy by pressing B. Now, we have just learnt about this on Inside Star Citizen, a nice new addition, and I'm still hoping that one day we can remove our contact lens and have no UI, but we'll see how that goes. Now, for the dynamic crosshair and hit markers, aside from what we already know about them, different combat helmet manufacturers will offer different designs of crosshairs And of course, these crosshairs will only show up on the combat-specific helmets. And the same kind of goes for the new hit markers. These will again only be visible on combat helmets and can be seen from either hip firing or aiming down sights. And the style and sound will change based on whether you get a body, head, or kill shot. So very happy again to hear that these hit markers are also only for combat-specific helmets. They won't be seen otherwise alongside the crosshair, which gives an incentive to wearing a combat-specific helmet so that you can take advantage of those benefits. But you won't get them if you're wearing other helmets. Now, for the replication layer, it says over the course of the 323 patch cycle, the replication layer will be separated. So it sounds like it won't be coming for the initial 323 release, which is happening towards the end of April, and more just within a 323 point patch. Which, if that's the case, it's a big shame, because I would love to have it out as soon as possible, especially with Fauna AI coming along, but it takes as long as it takes, and when it does come, I will be very happy. Now finally, in regards to the FPS changes, as mentioned, there is a whole separate patch notes for these, as there are a lot. And these include updates to the scopes and sights, new control keybinds with some of these being temporary, plus a lot of other general changes to encourage players to slow down in firefights, committing to the fight, thinking about what they're going to do, but also still being capable of moving when you want to retreat, which is essentially the intention for what Chris wants for Star Citizen in all areas, is players making a decision, planning for that decision, and then executing it to the best of their abilities to encourage planning and skill. So hopefully this will be more the case now, especially in FPS, rather than just blindly shooting for the sake of it and taking silly risks. Now, as mentioned, there is a lot of changes to the FPS stuff in this patch, and even a whole list of balance updates to every weapon individually. I won't be going through this all here, as it would take an age, but I will link the patch notes below, so for those of you who want to read through them, you can do so. They are very interesting, but ultimately this sort of thing, in my opinion, needs to be felt in game rather than read about, so we will see how they work. And remember, this is just the initial release of updates. They want our feedback to tune it further. Now, they also wanted to release a new 323 build last night for Evocati again, but unfortunately it failed, so they will be trying again tonight, I presume. But it is great to see that they are now officially testing the actual features of Alpha 323, instead of just its stability, getting the features in the patch fixed up and ready for further waves, with a live release, as mentioned, slated for around the end of April. This could be early May, it most likely will be. Hopefully they can get it right at the end of April, as it gives them a good month of testing with the other waves. Also, it does appear that the creatures are now in-game, so watch your back. Now, before we finish, there is just a couple of days left to pick up the TOBII Eye Tracker 5 at 15% off, which is the device that I use for head tracking in Star Citizen. I highly recommend it, and using that link below will directly support my channel, so thank you in advance for doing so, and a big thank you to all of those who have done so already. But with that said, that is the latest on the 323 front. I am blown away with how major this patch is going to be. It already started out as being such a huge patch. It is just getting bigger and bigger. CIG just keep throwing more things in it. Star Citizen is going to be unrecognizable when this releases, and what a great start to getting these patches out, setting us up for the year ahead. Anyway, if you do appreciate my videos, please do consider subscribing. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. You are all more than welcome. We should be live later this afternoon, playing some more Star Citizen, watching Inside Star Citizen together, hanging out and chatting all about Star Citizen and creatures. You are all more than welcome to come and hang out with us, whether you are a new backer or an old backer. It is great to see you there. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.